this lecture, we are going to create the final two volumetric spheres. Those small ones rotating around our comet sphere and the bigger subtle sphere around it. The reason why we are creating two shaders in one video is because we will reuse the node system that we create for the biggest sphere, since there is not much difference. We can switch to scene layer 4, and with the 3D cursor in the center we can add an icosphere and scale it down to about 0.1. Then we can give it a default material and remove the diffuse shader node. For the next minutes I will add the nodes, which does not need much explanation. Now with all the nodes added, we can adjust the settings, leaving the 3 color ramp nodes for last. After enabling viewport rendering, we can already see some volumetric effect here. Now we can start adjusting our color ramp nodes, starting from the one on the left. Then we move to the middle one. Sometimes you really have to fiddle with the handles to get the result you want. Now we will work on our last color ramp node. We can add one extra handle with the plus sign and assign a red color to our middle handle and yellow to our right handle. I am just going to increase our viewport render samples since this particular shader needs it. Let's increase this value to increase the emission strength. Now we are going to create the big blobby sphere by duplicating our sphere on layer 4 and move it to layer 5. We can scale the sphere like 10 times bigger so that it is half the vertical camera length. Then we can make the material a single user via the Properties panel. We can press the number 2 and we can also change the name. This way we can modify the shader without affecting the original. I haven't really given names to our shader. To save time, I guess. Also, there are not many, so in this project we might not need it. But I advise you to give them recognizable names anyway. Now I am going to make a few modifications to our shader to get the look I want. So just follow along and make the changes as I make them. We do not need so much noise, so we can put the noise scale to 1.1. In a later video, we are going to animate some mapping node values, such as this one, to make our blob move in a blobby way. We do not need this center point, so we can remove this by setting this value to 0.5. So now, when we move this mapping node value, we get a really smooth, clean movement of the blob. We can also shift select layer 1 to see how our blob looks like inside our dimension sphere. I will just decrease the render samples since our blob and dimension do not need many samples. Our moving blob looks quite nice in our dimension. Let's check out how our blob looks like with a lower emission strength. I would say it looks a bit ghostly, but nice in a subtle way. Now we can select our third scene layer as well to see how our comet sphere looks like within our blob. We might change the colors a bit of our comet sphere in the next lecture to fit the dimension color scheme. So in the next couple of lectures we are going to set up the animation for the little blobs to rotate around the comet sphere. So basically the animation part of the project will start in the next lecture. So I hope you enjoyed this lecture and see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.